Okay, so hi everyone, welcome to Conversation with me, Lin Cheng, your host for today. So today we're going to talk about the missing link to goal achievement. Okay, so I hope you notice the title says the missing link to goal achievement. And I'm actually pretty much assuming that you have actually set your goals, okay? So if this is your first time attending my webinar, I want to let you know that I don't believe in long webinars because I know you're busy and you're busy people who want to get better. I mean, you could be out having fun, having a meal with your family or friends, but you choose to be here. So I want to make this really time effective for you. And I also love to simplify, okay? So the reason why you're here today, I'm guessing, right? I'm guessing is that you really set some kind of goals for yourself, and there might be a little bit of frustration, a bit of maybe occasional discouragement. Not that I'm kicking off on a negative note, but I'm pretty sure you set your goals, but there's some sort of frustration, like you're wondering, how am I able to seize that goal of mine and make it a reality? Because I know you're ready for the goal to happen in your life, and the goal is ready for you too, because if you can see your mic and hold it in your hand. Okay, so your goal, the good news is that your goal isn't too big for you and your goal isn't wrong for you. Instead, perhaps you might just not know the missing link to goal achievement. Okay, so that's exactly what we are here to talk about today. And like I said, I love to simplify. So what today we're going to talk about is the missing link, and I sum it up to this acronym ABC. Okay, so what exactly is all about? Just remember, today is the missing link to goal achievement. I'm making a bit of assumption that you have already set your goals, okay? If you have set your goals, that's actually next part. Setting your goals are great, but you actually need to achieve, you want to achieve your goals, okay? So ABC, we start with A. A is your attitude. I always like to do definition. Let's not make any assumptions to make sure that we're all on the same page, because this might be you seeing me for the first time. Okay, so what exactly is attitude? And I love to look up on the dictionary that says attitude is a settled way of thinking or feeling about something. Okay, try explaining that to a 7-year-old or 8-year-old what attitude is. And I want to simplify, because attitude, as much as we logically, intellectually understand the definition, but what exactly is attitude? Okay. And your attitude is perhaps the missing link to your goal achievement, right? And if you do not know exactly what attitude is, it's really, really hard. So what exactly is attitude? Attitude consists of 3 components: your thoughts, your emotions, your action. All 3 components equates to your attitude. And I'm talking about positive thoughts, positive emotions, positive actions. All 3 are in alignment. And for some of you who notice the little picture, the big circle and the small little circle, well, this is a diagram that's known as a stick person. It's actually your mind, right? The big circle is actually your mind. The top half of the circle is your thoughts, your conscious mind. The lower half of the big circle is your subconscious mind, where it holds your emotions. Okay, and the smaller circle is your body. So you want to have alignment in all 3 components. Just like if you have a cake, you say that the cake tastes fantastic. You don't say the flour tastes nice, the spice tastes good. No, it's the entire cake, right? And when I say alignment, just think about the old school radio station. Old school, because remember when we used to have, maybe if you're not there, if you're much younger, you may not know, but think of the old school radio, which you have the knob to tune, right? You need one to tune. If you want to listen to 98.7 FM, you got to tune exactly to that station, and the music comes out is crystal clear, right? So alignment is what I mean by your thoughts, your emotions, your actions have to be aligned. That gives you a positive attitude, okay? So I want to think of someone, definitely someone whom you admire. Think of someone whom you admire, and would you agree they have a great attitude, right? They radiate confidence, they radiate assurance, they expect success, they get success, they are aware of their infinite potential and their ability to develop and utilize their potential, and they are responsible for shaping their own life. So they are the true and consistent goal achiever. So having an attitude of such great attitude easily help one get the results that they want or get the goal that they want, right? So if you know of someone whom you admire, think of the attitude they uphold, right? What attitude do you have, right? Hey, Natalie, good to have you live with me. Okay, and you probably know or heard of this statement that says, you know, from the movie Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. You see, to have great power, it starts with being responsible. Same as those people whom you admire, they are responsible for shaping their own life. So to start to have the results you want, you have to actually claim ownership and be responsible for shaping your life. And when I mean be responsible, I mean to say that be 100% responsible, and to shape your life is greatly determined to a great extent by the attitude you hold. Because remember, I said the attitude has to be in alignment with your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. So the good news is that when it comes to attitude, it's an area that you can control and you can even learn to develop. Because it's just like what James Allen once quoted actually. He says that people are often anxious to improve their circumstances, but unwilling to improve themselves. Therefore, they feel bound and they feel that their goal achieving becomes someone else's responsibility. Okay, you see, when you have a great attitude, again, think of the people who you admire. They are responsible for whatever results they get. Usually it's great because they have great attitude. So when you claim responsibility and be responsible and have that great attitude, you claim responsibility towards the results you have, whether it's good or bad, right? It's not just that, oh, when the results are great, it's all my effort. When the results are bad, it's always someone else's effort. No, right? So the first A that you need to understand, that missing link to goal achievement, is that you have to start to take 100% responsibility for your attitude. And remember, attitude, if you break it down, it means to say that you take 100% responsibility for the thoughts you have, for the emotions you feel, and the actions you take. And when all three are positive, and when they are all three in alignment, that's where you get the results that you want. So, I mean, if for whatever reason you were not 100% responsible for your attitude that you had a minute ago or yesterday, just simply release it and accept that perhaps in the past you were ignorant, you didn't know that was what attitude meant, and attitude was actually part of the missing link to goal achievement. So what you're going to do from this moment, this very second onwards, is to just release it, let it go, and starting from today, right now, decide that you're going to take 100% responsibility for your attitude, both good and bad, right? Regardless, you are going to claim 100% responsibility. And when you start to claim responsibility, chances are you're going to claim responsibility for an awesome attitude, which is the positive thoughts, positive emotions, positive actions. Okay? So we come to B. B stands for your beliefs. And when I say beliefs, again, what does it mean? Oxford Dictionary says that it refers to an acceptance of something that exists or is true, and perhaps even without proof. Okay, so that's a very interesting definition of what belief is. Acceptance of something that exists, but perhaps even without any proof. So recently I did a reel. If you have followed me on my personal page, I did a reel, or you see on a video, I say, don't think of the pink elephant. Guess what's in your mind right now? The pink elephant, okay? Why am I talking about the pink elephant? So the pink elephant, think of it as your current programming. Okay, your current programming. And if you still remember the stick person, like I said, the stick person, the big circle represents your mind. The lower half, which holds your emotion. This is the part of the mind that actually holds your programming, your current programming. So understand that your current programming, think of it like the pink elephant. The pink elephant is happy where it is, or is at least pretty comfortable, right? And how did the pink elephant come about? Because when you were a baby, you didn't have a thinking mind, right? Because your mind was still wide open, you're just a baby. So all these ideas were planted into you and went straight into your subconscious mind. And guess what? All these ideas that were planted into you over time, many of these ideas formulated together, they are called beliefs. And because you're a baby with your mind wide open, all these beliefs actually belongs to someone else, right? Because as a baby, you didn't know your mind was wide open. Someone else, meaning your parents, your grandparents, your caregiver, right? Just think about it. When your mind was wide open, all these ideas came into your mind and they became beliefs. And just simply think of one belief in the past that's absolutely irrelevant today, right? I could give you one simple example. When I was younger, I was often told to study hard so that you can get a nice office job, right? And that's a possible or reasonable belief, because perhaps when the idea was communicated to me is that perhaps my parents do not have an office job, right, which is air conditioned, and maybe they had more laborious work, which requires them to be out in the sun a lot more often. So the belief is that if you study hard, you can get an office job, which is more comfortable. That's a fair belief, reasonable belief back then, okay? But today, try telling an 8-year-old, right? Go study hard so that you can get an office job. Go try. The 8-year-old might turn around and say, I do not want a job. I want to be a YouTuber, right? So there are some beliefs that we have that brought us to where we are today, but there are some beliefs that requires updating, right? Just like your mobile devices, if it needs updating, some beliefs also needs updating. And can you imagine somehow along the way, the beliefs that were instilled in us when we were young was strange, right? Can you imagine a parent talking to a baby? Baby, do you know walking is really hard? Like, do you really want to try? Like, you're gonna fall, or maybe you shouldn't even try to stand. It's gonna hurt really bad if you fail, and maybe you should just continue to crawl, or perhaps why not just let mommy carry you? You see, some of the beliefs that we have are limiting. You would never say such a thing to a baby, but somehow when we cross that growing stage from being an infant to a toddler to adulthood, we became more bounded, right? We start to wonder and think, oh, what if I try and I fail? Like, what if it hurts? Maybe I shouldn't even try. You know, you would never do that to a baby who's making an attempt to stand and crawl. But yet somehow in between the toddler to the adulthood stage, we start to impose some beliefs which were pretty limiting, right? And again, like I say, if it was limiting, let it go. Because sometimes it's just a lack of awareness, right? And some of these beliefs are really deeply rooted that you can instantly answer these 3 questions, right, that I'm going to give you. And I did that publicly as a social experiment. I also did that with my client recently, right? If I give you these 3 questions, if I ask you to fill in the blank, you'll definitely know the answer too. Even if I've never met you, your first time seeing me, you definitely know the answer. Okay, the 3 questions of 3 statements which I wanted to fill in the blank, right? Money don't grow on blank, right? Money don't grow on, right? You can guess, right? And money is the root of all, okay? I'm pretty sure you can get the answer, somewhat the answer is in your head. That's what I mean by some beliefs we have unconsciously is sitting in our mind, right? Because unconsciously, you're able to tell me that money don't grow on trees, money don't fall from the sky, money is the root of all evil. Although you may not believe it right now, but some of these beliefs are still sitting deep in our subconscious level, and sometimes unknowingly, it does cause some blocks. So these are old beliefs, really old beliefs, which somehow was planted into you when your mind was wide open. So what I want you to accept right now or entertain right now is a new belief. A new belief is that the truth, you wouldn't fail. You absolutely wouldn't fail. Can you entertain that belief just today? Like a new belief, keep your mind wide open as if you're a baby, right? The truth is you won't fail. And over the weekend, I just had I had dinner with my family, with my nephew, and he's really cute. He's 23, right? And he was asking me for advice on his career, whether should he stay on being an accountant, auditor, how many years and all, right? And then he was asking lots of questions. He said, oh, but I did ask someone this, and I've got to give him credit. He's very conscious about who he asks advice from, because he asks advice, he seeks advice from individuals who are retired partners, right? So it's not like he's just asking anyone by the street, right? So he was asking various advice from someone who's a retired partner, someone like me who used to be an auditor. And then I said, well, I mean, I do have a differing opinion from a retired partner. But I told him, I said, does it really matter? Like, does it really matter what your decision will be? And he's only 23. His reply to me was, but I'm no longer young. I laughed. I was like, seriously? I'm 20 years older than him, right? And he's thinking, I'm no longer young, but what if I make the wrong decision? So I almost have to put him back into context and ask him. I said, great. I understand you have your fear. I understand you have some experience where you made a bad decision and you wish you haven't made them. But let's just move forward, right? What's done is done. Let's move forward. And moving on from today onwards, whatever decision you make, you just answer 2 questions. Very simple. Right? Ask him, whatever decision you're going to make, is it going to put you in danger? Like, is it a matter of life and death? You say, no. I say, great, then you're good. Second, because you're still single, right? I said, whatever decision you're going to make, are you going to make your parents homeless? He said, no. I said, great, that's fine. So the truth is, you wouldn't fail. You see, when it comes to moving towards a goal, whatever goal you have, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not too big. And honestly, I tell you, it can go even bigger. When it comes to moving towards a goal, it's always an opportunity to learn, to grow. Goals are there to help you to grow. Yet many of us are so afraid to fail. Why? Because we are so worried about what others think about us. And honestly, others are really too busy with their own life to think about you. Okay? So I hope today you will entertain a new belief that the truth is you wouldn't fail. And if you're still thinking about the pink elephant, which is sitting in the subconscious part of your mind, I would like you to think of a unicorn, right? Because if I ask you to don't think about the pink elephant, you're still thinking of the pink elephant, right? And all we have to remember is that the pink elephant is in a really happy place now. It's really comfortable, but it wouldn't bring you to a whole new world, right? It wouldn't. It's happy where it is. So since the elephant is there, it's okay. What we're going to do is we are just going to redirect our focus and start thinking of a unicorn. Think of a unicorn, right? I didn't take my unicorn, it's over there. But you're going to see it on the screen. A unicorn, there's something mystical about it. There's something elegant about the unicorn. And unicorn has magical powers. Like, just thinking about the unicorn got to make you feel excited. And with such mystical, magical feel to it, That's the kind of feeling you want to have towards a new belief. It becomes your new programming, your new way of doing things, because only with such a new programming that will bring you to a whole new world, right? So you got to start to create a new programming. Please do not keep expecting the pink elephant to bring you to new places. It's happy where it is. So think of a new programming like as if you're thinking of a unicorn, exploring new possibilities. Okay? So beliefs that we have somewhat limits us. So it's time to release. Some beliefs are great, keep it, but most of it is not going to bring us to new places. Release it and intentionally replace it with a new programming. And the feeling has to be as if you're thinking of a unicorn, right? That kind of feeling. And lastly, C. C stands for commitment, right? Looking at this picture, I'm sure you can tell what's the difference between commitment and being interested, right? Which little duckling is a little bit more committed and which is a little bit more interested, you see. When it comes to setting your goals, a lot of time, I myself was guilty of it. We are very interested to set big, audacious goals. We are really very interested. But when we are only interested in our goals, it means that we only do something when it's convenient. When it's convenient, we'll do it. If it's too hard, we're like, oh, it's okay. I think the goal is fine. It's too big. I don't need that much. It's okay. I'm happy where I am. I'm happy in my pink elephant. Okay. So when you are committed, that's a whole different ball game, because when you are committed to your goals, you accept no excuses, only results. And that's a whole different ball game. So sometimes we somehow let that commitment towards our goals. And what exactly is commitment? Commitment comes along with passion, right? Like, is your commitment towards your goal is it at the same level of passion that Thomas Edison had towards developing the light bulb? And I'm not talking about him being passionate in his relationship, just him being passionate in his relationship towards his goal, right? You and I know he invented the light bulb, but did you know it took him over 2,000 times to get it right? And 2,000 times, let's just put it into perspective. Let's just imagine today you're sitting in front watching TV. Okay, maybe you don't, but let's just assume, right? You're going to watch TV every night for the rest of the year for 365 days. And you need to click on your remote control to turn on the TV. And you have to click on the remote control every single night for the next 5.5 years before something shows up on your screen. Now, that's passion. That's commitment. Like, do you have that kind of commitment towards your goal? That kind of passion you have towards it? You might be just clicking it every single day for 5.5 years. Only then something would show up on the screen. And that was the level of commitment Thomas Edison had towards his goal. So sometimes we set the goals, but we lack the commitment to see it through. So you might be thinking, why? Why is it so hard to be committed to the goals that I have set, right? 3 possible reasons. First, the goal may not be yours. You know, like the little baby, there's a little beep that says, future doctor, like mommy and daddy, right? Maybe the goal that you have belongs to your parents. And over time, you thought it was yours. And hence, it's hard to be committed when it's not something that you want, right? And second, sometimes because your goals are not in alignment with your personal values. For instance, you may say that I want to earn a lot of money. That's my goal. Great. And if today there's an opportunity for you to earn a lot of money or make a lot of money by robbing a bank, would you do it? Right? No, because it's misaligned. I mean, if you choose to do it, but sometimes our goals are not in alignment with some of the personal values that we have. So it's a constant struggle to get into action, to be committed to the goal, and to have that same passion like Thomas Edison has towards his goal of creating a light bulb, right? Or perhaps it might be at this point whereby I tried and I failed, and I'm wondering, why am I even bothering? I've really tried and failed so many times. And it's just a little bit too painful to be committed, right? So when you're finding it so hard to commit to a goal, do a check-in. Is it because the goal is not yours? Maybe there's some misalignment in your personal values, and perhaps it's because you try and you fail, and somehow the failure is something that you do not wish to experience again. And that kind of made you feel a little bit deflated, right? But again, goals are for you to grow, right? A failure once doesn't mean you're going to be a failure forever. It doesn't cast any or impact what's coming in the future, okay? Because at the end of the day, we all need some guidance, right? If you try and feel, especially, like, can you imagine? I love to put an analogy between parents and kids, because the things that we wouldn't do to our kids is something that we'll do to ourselves, right? Like, can you imagine a mom telling his son, why do you need to go driving school? Like, why don't you just go and drive? That's it, right? Go figure out on your own. Just go out and drive. No parent will do that to a kid, because the kid might get into an accident, right? And it's just simply tough, right? So sometimes we are so tough on ourselves that we refuse to get help, right? If you wouldn't do that to your kid and say, just go and figure it out, get on the street, bring the car out and go figure out. You don't need to go into driving school. You wouldn't do that to your kid, so don't do that to yourself. Sometimes you need help as well, because you see, as much as you have to do it on your own, it's really hard to do it all alone. I don't know if you actually watched this really, really old movie called Cast Away by Tom Hanks, right? He was actually stranded alone on an island. And you probably also heard that no man is an island, right? Tom Hanks was stranded all alone on an island. And to keep his sanity, he had a friend, which is actually a soccer ball, and he named it Wilson. So while you have to do it on your own, you do not have to do it all alone. Like, why do you want to do it all alone? Don't you want to minimize the learning time and then use the extra time to enjoy your results, right? And it doesn't mean that because you struggle a little bit more, your results will be more fantastic. On the contrary, I believe that we can actually get to somewhere where we want to be effortlessly, okay? We have somehow the idea, again, a very limiting belief that we need to struggle in order to get to our destination. No, you don't. I hope you entertain that new belief as well. And sometimes it's also dependent on your DNA, right? Because recently I did a profile for my client and I found that my client's DNA requires someone to talk it out, to create some clarity. Figuring it out on her own will be pretty much not effective, okay? So that's the ABCs, the missing link. If you need a recap, right? A, your attitude. Starting from today, like right now. Be responsible. Claim 100% responsibility for the attitude that you uphold towards your actions, your emotions, and your thoughts, right? Second, B, your beliefs. The beliefs you have right now somehow is slightly limiting, right? The pink elephant is happy where it is, but let's focus on the unicorn, right? And see that commitment towards your goal, right? Are you as passionate as Thomas Edison? Okay, so now that you know the ABCs, the missing link of goal achievement, I think this is pretty easy, right? Like I said, I love to simplify. But upon simplify, what now? You know, You have to understand, I was in your position. I was really, really good at gathering knowledge. However, I'm not very good to act upon all the knowledge I've gathered. I feel really good after gathering knowledge, like you're here right now, right? You're all busy people, yet you're dedicating time here to gather knowledge instead of having fun, going out with your family and friends, right? While it's great that you're gathering knowledge, but not taking action, over time, you're going to feel frustrated. Because it was like when was years back, right? I think it was 5-6 years back. I attended an internet marketing class. I was learning how to create a website, and it was a web page. You're gonna click and submit. I was like, great. Right? I followed the instructions, but I don't think I really got it. So one weekend, I sat down for 3 hours. I looked through the notes and I did it all over again. Like this time around, I really got it, right? I was gathering knowledge over 2 days, but I didn't get it. When I really sat down to do it, to experience it, then I got it. And when I got it, I never forget. It's just like riding a bicycle. Once you get it, you get it. So some of the tools or techniques may change given the current climate, right? But there are some fundamentals that remains the same. So ultimately, you are here to gather knowledge, but the question is, what's next, right? So this is the $1 million question or $3 million questions, since I have 3, is that now that you know the missing link, you got to do something about it, right? Because knowing is good, but knowing alone is not going to give you the results you want. It's just like goal setting is great, but you got to do something to achieve the goals, right? So there are actually 2 parts to it: goal setting, goal achievement. And I'm assuming you're setting your goals big enough for you, okay? That might be a separate topic on its own. So right now, I'm assuming that setting the goals and you know exactly what it is. Now it's about goal achieving, right? So to achieve the goals is all ABCs, right? The 3 ABCs. So do you want an A+ attitude? That means you take 100% responsibility for your attitude, which determines your results. Because if it's positive thoughts, positive emotions, positive actions, it has to be positive results, right? That's positive results, meaning your goals. So for whatever that had happened prior to today, simply accept that perhaps you were ignorant, you were not aware. Had you known, you wouldn't have done it. Let it all go. While I know it sounds scary to be 100% responsible moving forward, but just think about it. If this is your life, like your life, do you want to be the driver of your life, or would you rather just be the passenger and not too sure what's happening, right? Be a driver or the passenger? And do you want to set a new belief or create a new belief? Because you got to see that the prime reason for success or failures comes from our programming. No matter how much we can gather knowledge, but if we do not override the current programming, the results are still going to be what it was, right? The pink elephant will just stay where it is because it's really comfortable. So you need a whole new set of programming to bring you to a whole new world, right? You cannot expect your current programming to bring you to a whole new world. It doesn't work that way. That's illogical to think that doing the same will bring you a different set of results. Albert Einstein said it's insanity, right? Because if your laptop, your mobile devices need to upgrade its operating system, when was the last time you upgraded your programming and created a new set of beliefs to bring you to a new world, right? And lastly, have you decided to be committed? You know, recently today, I think today is day 364. A year ago, 365 days ago, I committed to doing Facebook Live, right? It became a Facebook Reel subsequently. And when I committed to doing a Facebook Live every day, that means I show up every day to teach something. I've got my peers asking me, what do you talk about? There's always something to talk about, right? Because to show up live every day, I committed to studying something every day, even if it's just half an hour, I study a bit more. So was it easy to study every day? No, of course not. Especially harder over the weekends, especially when it's Sundays, right? I'm still programmed like you. Sundays is free and easy, lazy day, right? So was it uncomfortable? For sure, yes, it's definitely uncomfortable, but I was committed to it and I showed up every day, right? So that's a commitment I have, and that commitment comes with a certain level of discipline, right? It all ties back to having an A+ attitude. So if you are someone who say, yes, I want an A+ attitude, I want to create a new belief, and I've decided to be committed to my goals, right? That you just have to make a decision, because making a decision is a start. But making a decision every single day and commit to it, that requires some help, which is why I say it's really hard to do it alone. And sometimes it's really a little bit boring. Okay. So if you have someone who said that I'm a yes to all three of these questions, I want a new A+ attitude, I want a new belief, and I've decided to be committed to my goals, then book a call with me, because I want to help you to further discover how to close the gap in making your goals a reality using a 3A framework, right? A 3A framework which is specially designed to help you to create a change whereby it will help you to correct any form of errors that you had. And to be told, sometimes these errors would unknowingly, planted into your mind when you were a kid, right? So what we really want to do is to help you to correct those errors and work on how to remove these limiting beliefs, right? Because it's all these limiting beliefs that actually holds you back. And that's sometimes pretty annoying, because you have so much untapped potential, right? So perhaps right now, all you need is just a how to get things going, how to make it happen, right? And all you need is just to have 3 yeses to the questions, and that's all you have to do. Don't put it upon yourself and think that, oh, I need to know exactly what to do. No, if you knew, you have done it. If you knew, you wouldn't be here. If you knew, don't think about it. Don't put too much stress on yourself, right? All you need to know is that I have goals. I didn't give up my goals. I believe you didn't give up your goals. That's why you are here to listen to this webinar, to find out exactly what is a missing link. And now that you know the missing link is just so simple, or maybe I've also made it super duper simple. Once you know the missing link, this is where you want to close the gap. Because when you start to close the gap, this is the start of a lifestyle that you had previously only dreamt of, because you keep dreaming about your goals, you haven't made it a reality yet. And now you actually have a chance to find out about a proven system, the how to make things happen. And you can be as brave, have that same gusto as the baby. Imagine the baby was looking at mommy and say, mommy says, don't take a walk, don't try and stop making an attempt to stand up. The baby is looking at mommy like, I do not understand you. I just want to stand. I want to try walking, and then I want to run. That's what you're meant to do. That's what you are truly meant to do. That's why you're here. Right? The only thing that has been holding you back are perhaps some attitude which needs to be improved, some beliefs that were a little bit limiting, and because you're doing it all alone and it's hard to stay committed, right? So there are some fundamentals that do not change. Your goals and dreams are unique to you, for sure. But some fundamentals don't change. It's just like how you use your GPS. You have to put the start and destination, and then the routes will appear, but you got to hit the accelerator and move, right? Fundamentals don't change, but you still have to decide if it's a good fit for you. So if you think it's a good fit for you, what I want you to do is simply book a call. Let's have a chat. It may not be for you, it may be for you, but who knows? But one thing for sure, on the call, you're definitely going to gain more clarity, because today I'm making a little bit of assumption that you have already set a goal that you want. And I'm making some assumptions that the goals are yours and they are really, really, really big. All right, that means it could be big enough to get you excited, just as how magnificent the unicorn can bring you to. Okay, so that's all for today's webinar. It's really simple. You just have to remember ABC on the missing link. And if you understand and this missing link resonates with you, you want to find out how to close the gap and make things happen for you to experience the new world. Let's have a chat and we can take on to the next step, right? So I'm going to wrap up for today. I'm looking at the both screen. If there's any more questions, feel free to leave in the chat, but otherwise, I hope to see you on a one-on-one call, because that's when I can really talk to you. Right now, it's a one-way conversation. I do not know where you're at now, but I can really talk to you and understand where's the gap, and then we can have fun with the unicorn. Okay. So I hope to see you on a one-on-one Zoom call. The link is on both the Zoom screen and the Facebook group. And I hope to see you really soon. And till then, take care. Bye-bye.